Hey guys, here's a little update on the progress of the Torana. I thought we'd give you a little bit of backstory on how we came about building this Torana. So 28 years ago, this was my first race car. Well, actually it was my first street car, and it was the first car I ever painted as a second year apprentice. And that was a car we terrorised the streets of Rockingham with, and it was a bit of a street racing legend. And with a little six-cylinder, we used to take on all the V8s, and people like George Shaparovich and Roger Morehouse might remember it. And actually George Shaparovich loved the car so much, he actually got me to paint him one the same, and he still owns it to this day. So that was my first ever car, and that's what sort of got me to looking for a Torana body to do for my sons, you know, when they got older. And my good mate Cole Palmer told me about this old roach out Torana body, and we picked it up and put it in the corner about 11 years ago, and just in recent times we've got around to working on it. Here's another car. People sometimes ask about all the pictures on the wall, but this is another car I built about 18 years ago, and built it in 10 months from scratch, full tube chassis, all by myself. And this is my youngest son Connor, my oldest son Connor, who's been working a lot on this car. He didn't get to do much work on the car, but it dominated Super Sedan for 3 years when it was finished. Won 2 championships, got runner-up in the other to Daniel Gregorini, who was a tough racer. So that's just a bit of a backstory on why we done this car. So we almost got a little bit offended with all the negativity and people telling us to kill ourselves and how dare we do what we're doing. And you know, we almost thought, you know, we'll join in with all the three tooths and get on the keyboard and fight back. But instead, we just thought, hey, let's get on with the project. Let's just keep working. So even though I did crack a bit of a wobbly at the time, I got in there, I painted the car, and it was just great experience to show the boys, you know, how much work goes into painting the car. And they all got in and did a bit of rubbing down, and it's a direct gloss Barbados green, which is the exact same colour as my first car, so it's sort of like a tribute to my first car. And it's it's pretty special that the boys are going to run a car exactly like the first car I run. And it's direct gloss 2-pack. We painted it in the shed here specifically because we wanted to do everything we could at home, and you know, just make the whole project done in the shed here. Even though the atmosphere wasn't great and we had to do a little bit of buffing on the car, it still turned out pretty killer. We did all the gloss blackouts. Everything inside the car we did in a satin to give that trim look. And but the crowning jewel of the whole thing is Connor's aluminium door trims, which he has sort of done a duplicate of a actual GTR, LC GTR door trim. So we've bead rolled all the GTR pattern in there, painted it all satin black, put the badges on there. It was quite a bit of work, and I actually wasn't too much for it. I was like, what am I going to do that for? But now I've seen it all done, it just looks killer. Real happy with it. And it just, as I said, everything inside is satin, and the nice gloss on the outside. I don't know if we hadn't done all this last time. All that tub, all the bead rolling's done in there. That's all done in the satin black, and it's really looking quite good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm starting to get excited for an old guy. All the blackouts are done all around the front here. That's all 2-pack stuff as well. We got our new wheels in. We sort of waited a couple of months for the wheels. And our granddad, the boy's granddad, sponsored them the wheels, so big shout out to Grandad there. And we had the back ones for a while, but these ones are on back order, so they're going to really look the bomb. That's that silver. All the grill and tail lights and headlight surrounds. We've just been putting a bit of satin black on there to spruce them up a little bit. And now basically we're just going into assembly now. Everything's been trial fitted multiple times. Engine, transmission, it's all everything we put in now is in for good. So the Haltech and the logger dash and everything's on its way. And yeah, we're basically 4 weeks away from this thing making some noise. So pretty exciting times. But one last thing to the guys on their keyboards: run your car, not your mouth.